Hello everybody, and thanks for joining me today. I am Jim Coppinger with ZenTech Consultants, and today I want to talk to you guys about construction data and dimension verification in BricsCAD Pro. Now look, I understand, right? You're in the construction industry. Most of us avoid CAD systems like the plague. We look at them, we say, you know what, we don't need them. They're way too complex. Right? When we start to look at them, they can be intimidating. Right? I can go in, you can see I've got dozens and dozens of tabs with hundreds of tools on each one, and each tool and setting and options got thousands of different subcategories. I get it, right? For most of us in the construction world, you know, we're project managers, we're construction guys, we're building things, we know how to put walls together and floors, and you know, we don't know how to do this design side of the house, and we don't have the time or the need really to learn it. So for a lot of us, we'll just kind of stick with a standard, you know, a scale on a piece of paper, right? Or we'll, you know, put in an RFI to get some information, but all of those things can be inaccurate and they can delay the job. And one of the absolute best things about BricsCAD Pro is that it has really been engineered with construction in mind. There are tools and features in here that you can use, and I'm going to show you those today, with no training. No need to understand dimension styles and text styles. If you know how to add and subtract numbers, you're all set. Right? Because the reality is, you know, on the construction side, no matter how careful the architect is, no matter how careful the engineer is, they've laid things out, they put things in place, there are always going to be dimensions that you're going to need in the field that they didn't label. Right? There are always going to be questions about clearances and distances, and is there enough space from here to here? You know, the manufacturer needs this amount of clearance around a piece of equipment that the architect didn't know. Right? There are always items that are going to need the construction people to be able to go into the drawing, look for specific information so that they can build correctly in the field. So let's talk about this. And what I want you to notice today is I'm not going to go up and I'm really not going to show you any commands. Right? What I'm going to show you is you can move your mouse and pick on items or just hover over items inside of BricsCAD Pro. So let's say, for example, I need to know what's the dimension of this room over here, right over here on the side. I don't know what dimensions are. The architect didn't dimension anything here. I could probably go further down and I can guesstimate it, right? But I need the exact measurements from, you know, finished fascia sheetrock to finished fascia sheetrock. So if I go in here, right, and I just want to look and say, look, what's the dimension of this? See, if I just move my mouse and I just hover over that line, you see it's giving me the length. It's telling me it's 16 foot 0 1/4 inch. I didn't have to do anything. No commands. What about the other way? I'm just going to hover over that line. 7 1/4. Okay, so I know I'm 16 1/4 by 7 1/4. I know what the dimensions of my room are here. Not a problem. Okay, I can do that on any line, any wall. If I know, you know, what's the length of that line, right? What's the thickness of the wall? See, 9 3/4 over here. Right, it's an existing wall. I can also go in and when I got pieces of equipment, I'm like, all right, what's the size of that piece of equipment? Maybe I need to make sure maybe there are two models that are similar in size. I'm not quite sure which one they laid out. No problem. I can now go in and I can just select on it. And you see you get these green grips on the corners. If I just kind of hover over one, you see it will actually give you the actual dimensions, or if you want to clean it up a little bit, you see that I can actually select on it. And see, I'm 5 6 3/4 by 11 10 1/2. I know the exact size that's been laid out. And it doesn't matter what angle it's on. I do the same thing over here. If I go to this one and pick on it, right, 5 7 1/4 by 2 foot 10. Simple, right? That's great. So I can get basic linear dimensions, measurements anytime I want. But what's more important is that BricsCAD has built in what they call nearest dimension. This was focused around construction people and the need to be able to determine not only what the distance is between objects, but to give you the ability to move them if you need to. So let's say, for example, I zoom in here into this restroom. If I need to know what's the distance, right, the gap between these two sinks, it's not a problem. I can actually just hold down my control key. It lets me, because these are a block, they're a full item. If I just select them both, it's going to give me center to center. But if I need to get the clearance, I can just hold down my control key and I can pick that line and that line. And it tells me that the distance is 10 3/4 inches. I know exactly what I need, right? I can hit escape. If I need to know what's the distance from the face of the sink to the stall wall over here, not a problem. Again, I'll hold down my control key to get that, and then I'll just come over here and pick that. See, 4 foot 5 inches, right? I can take any two lines. If I want to go from here, from this line to this line, see, 5 feet 6 inches. That's my distance. Now you notice that when I do these, I can actually go in and I can change and edit this. So if there's an issue with any of these items, so let's say I want to measure, from this stole line to the wall, I'm just going to go from here to here, and you see it's 6'10½". Well, maybe code says that needs to be 7 feet. You see that I can actually go in and I can just type 7 feet right in that field and watch what it does. See it move the line? Now I know it's exactly 7 feet. I'm meeting code. All right, now I need to check that I've got sufficient distance from here to the clearance of the wall. Same thing. I'll just click on the control, then here. Okay, that's 1 foot 1.5. Maybe that's not enough clearance. Now the key with this, the one that you pick on first, I'm going to pick the wall first, then I'm going to hold down the control and pick here. The one that you pick first will stay where it is. So instead of 1 foot 1.5, that's actually supposed to be 1 foot 4, 16 inches. All right, I'll just put in 16 inches, and you see, moves the toilet up. I know that I'm laying things out accurately. What's even nicer about this is it will take into account for you angular distance. So you see here I've got some kind of a piece of equipment that's angular over here. I want to know what is the distance to this curved wall. That's the kind of thing that's really hard to measure if you don't know how to do dimensions with a normal CAD system. But with BricsCAD, it's not a problem at all. I'm just going to pick this item and I'm going to pick the wall. And you see it tells me it's 1 foot 8.5 at its nearest point. Okay, so I can look at it and say, yeah, you know what? Per the manufacturer's spec, I need clearance for cabinet doors to open and stuff over here. It's got to be at least 2 feet. No problem. I'm just going to put 2 feet. Okay, oop, I went the wrong way because I selected the wrong one. So yeah, I told you the order, so I picked the wall first. Pick the wall. Then pick this. Then you change it 2 feet, it'll move the piece of equipment, not the wall. There you go. That's the way I wanted to do it. All right, but it really is that easy. All right, and then I can go in and say, hey, now I move that. What does that do to the clearance over here? So now I can go in and say that one's in the right spot. I don't want to move it, so I'll pick that first, and then I pick this one. All right, I've got 2 foot 3.25. All right, that should actually be 2 foot 6 for clearance, and we're good. Our equipment now lays out. It's clear. It'll set. We can get it in and work with it. All right, you see, I haven't run any commands of any kind. All you have to do is go in and hover over items. Right? Or check. I want to know what's this door opening. What's the rough opening from here to here? Right? 3 foot. There you go. I know that's correct. We're all set. Okay. Those are the kind of things that you can do with BricsCAD Pro that anybody in the construction industry can work with. There's no training required here. Show them this little video and they're all set to go. So I will sum it up today by telling you guys that everybody who is working in the construction industry should be using BricsCAD Pro, because the other thing that's great about this is that BricsCAD Pro works with native DWG files. So meaning if you've got files that are coming from another program, another system, their DWG format, it doesn't matter, right? They're going to open up in here. You're going to be able to use them. You're going to be able to work with them. There's no translation required, no saving issues. You can just go in here, open and work with the DWG file from any other CAD system. Doesn't matter, right? And really, if you guys do have any kind of basic CAD familiarity, you're going to notice that this interface that you see up here is almost identical to the tools and the tool sets that you probably learned on. All right, so it's the easiest system out there. It's been designed with construction folks in mind, and it's something that I think all of us should have. All right, particularly because it is less than half the price of almost all other CAD systems out there with twice the amount of power. All right, so stick around for more of these webinars. I'm going to show you guys some more of the great tools that you can use for the construction industry using BricsCAD Pro. See you in the next one.